Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Dolly Parton leaves behind a fortune that makes her family cry in a story that has captured the hearts of millions across the globe. The legendary Dolly Parton, country music's shining star and the woman whose voice defined generations, is once again at the center of a deeply emotional revelation. Reports have surfaced that Dolly Parton has left behind a fortune so immense, so profoundly generous, that her family, friends, and fans alike are in tears, not from greed or sorrow, but from overwhelming love and gratitude. Dolly's life has always been an open songbook, one written with humility, heart, and humanity. From the dirt roads of Tennessee to the glimmering stages of Nashville and Hollywood, Dolly never forgot where she came from. Her journey was one of sheer willpower, endless faith, and a devotion to lifting others higher. But even in death, Dolly's final act of generosity seems to eclipse everything she did in life. The details surrounding her estate, her last wishes, and her emotional legacy are now unfolding, and it's leaving everyone who knew her in awe. Dolly Rebecca Parton wasn't just a singer. She was a phenomenon. Born in 1946 in Sevier County, Tennessee, she grew up in a one-room cabin with 11 siblings and parents who taught her the true meaning of love and resilience. With no electricity and little money, Dolly's earliest instruments were made of whatever she could find: a tin can, a stick, a makeshift string. Yet from that humble beginning came a sound that would change the world. Her songs, Jolene, Coat of Many Colors, and I Will Always Love You, carried her from the Appalachian Mountains to the global stage. But what truly defined Dolly wasn't just her success, it was her compassion. Over the decades, she donated millions to education, healthcare, and disaster relief. She built libraries, launched the Imagination Library program that gave millions of free books to children, and even funded COVID-19 vaccine research. She once famously said, "If I can help someone smile or make their life a little easier, then I've done my job." And she meant it. That's why, when news of her final will and testament surfaced, her family couldn't contain their emotions. Insiders close to the Parton family have revealed that Dolly's estate, reportedly worth over $650 million, is being distributed not just among relatives, but to countless causes she held dear. Her siblings, nieces, and nephews were said to be overwhelmed with tears after hearing her final wishes, not because of the wealth itself, but because of how deeply personal her gestures were. Each member reportedly received something symbolic, a piece of Dolly's history that carried emotional weight far beyond money. One family insider shared, Dolly didn't just leave her family money, she left them pieces of her soul. Letters, handwritten songs never released, keepsakes from her early days, it was like she wanted them to feel her presence forever. Her husband, please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Carl Dean, who always remained out of the spotlight, was said to have been deeply moved by her planning. Dolly had often joked that Carl preferred a quiet life while she loved the limelight, but theirs was a love story for the ages. They were married for nearly 6 decades, and in every interview, Dolly spoke of him with gentle admiration and humor. "He's my biggest fan, even if he doesn't come to the shows," she once laughed. In her will, Dolly reportedly left behind touching words for Carl, a private letter sealed in an envelope that he was to open after her passing. According to sources, the note contained a personal message and one final love song, written for him alone. Dolly's business empire was as vast as her heart. Beyond music, she had Dollywood, her theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, as well as film and television production ventures, perfume lines, and book royalties. Her estate management team confirmed that a significant portion of her wealth would go to the Dolly Parton Foundation, ensuring her charitable projects continue for decades to come. The foundation will reportedly expand its reach to include scholarship funds for rural students, housing projects for low-income families, and grants for women pursuing creative careers. Dolly always believed her success wasn't just hers, said one close friend. She thought it was a gift she was supposed to share. That's what she's doing, even in death. But perhaps the most emotional revelation came from a sealed recording discovered in her archives, something Dolly once hinted about in interviews. In her own words, she explained, "I've recorded a song that nobody will hear until after I'm gone." That song, insiders say, is part of her final artistic message, a ballad reflecting on her life, faith, and love for her family. The song, now being prepared for release posthumously, is expected to be her most heartfelt work yet. As fans worldwide prepare for its unveiling, many believe it will become her final goodbye, a musical love letter to those she touched. The public's response to this news has been nothing short of emotional. Tributes have poured in from fellow artists, fans, and public figures across all walks of life. Reba McEntire wrote, "Dolly taught us all that kindness never goes out of style. She may be gone, but her light will never fade." Miley Cyrus, her goddaughter, was seen in tears during a recent concert, dedicating a performance of "Light of a Clear Blue Morning" to her. In a touching moment, she said, "Dolly showed me how to be strong, kind, and true to myself. She's not just my godmother, she's my guardian angel." Dolly's legacy also extends far beyond her artistry and philanthropy. She represented the American dream, a symbol of what happens when you mix hard work with heart. Her story. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing. Inspired countless young women, especially from small towns, to dream bigger than their circumstances. Her charm, wit, and timeless humor made her universally beloved. Whether cracking jokes about her wigs or openly discussing her plastic surgery, she always did it with authenticity. "It takes a lot of money to look this cheap," she'd quip, reminding everyone that self-deprecation could be its own kind of elegance. And while her fame was monumental, she remained deeply grounded. Those who worked with her often spoke of how she treated everyone, from stagehands to superstars, with the same level of kindness. She never saw herself above anyone, a longtime Dollywood employee shared. She'd stop to chat, share a laugh, and ask about your kids. That was just Dolly. Her death, though heartbreaking, has reignited a global celebration of her life. Fans have flocked to Dollywood, leaving flowers, letters, and memorabilia. Candlelight vigils have been held in Nashville, Los Angeles, London, and Sydney. Even the Grand Ole Opry, the place that launched her career, dimmed its lights in her honor. As the world reflects on her remarkable journey, one thing becomes abundantly clear: Dolly Parton wasn't just a singer or an actress. She was a beacon of light in an industry often clouded by ego. She showed the world that fame and humility can coexist, that laughter can heal, and that kindness can outlive us all. Her family, though heartbroken, has found solace in knowing that Dolly's final chapter is one written in love. They've shared that her home in Brentwood remains untouched, her favorite guitar resting by her chair, her notebooks filled with song lyrics still scattered across her desk. "It's like she never left," said her niece. "Every corner still feels like her, warm, creative, full of joy." As Dolly once said, "When I'm gone, if you want to remember me, just sing one of my songs." And so, they will. The world will sing her words, words that once lifted the poor, comforted the lonely, and gave courage to those who thought they had none. Dolly Parton's life may have ended, but her melody continues. Her fortune, both in dollars and in spirit, is a reminder that wealth is measured not by what we have, but by what we give. Her family's tears are not of sorrow, but gratitude, because even in death, Dolly gave them one final gift, proof that love, music, and kindness never die. In the end, Dolly Parton's greatest song was her life itself, a ballad of hope, generosity, and joy that will echo through the hills of Tennessee and the hearts of millions forever. Please subscribe and like the video before continuing.